pitch is essentially a story. It's your story of your startup. And why do we call it a story? The reason we call it a story, stories are easy to remember. They're sequential. There is some excitement on what is coming. There is a link between each of the elements, and people remember it. And that's why it's a great tool instead of disparate elements to sort of, your pitch should be in a storyline format. Startup founders are always telling their story to people, why we entered this business, why are we passionate about it, to advisors, customers, everyone. And this compelling story is what is going to describe your market, challenges you're solving, how you're solving them, and how you're doing it uniquely. Bollywood does a great job of telling a story, right? So there's a situation, there's a complication, there are questions which emerge because of that complication, and finally everything is answered and there's a resolution. And that, I think, is the best way to tell your story. What is the situation? There is a market you're seeing, it has a certain context, there are some changes happening in it. Those changes are causing some problems to the existing way of doing things, or some new problems are emerging, or new needs are emerging. So that's the complication you want to highlight. Because one question people have is, customers have had needs for years. What is changing? Why is your product unique, different? Why is it required now? So all that storyline format answers all those questions. And then you're talking about the problem that has emerged and how you're going to solve it, what is the nature of the problem, and finally, how do you take your customer to the ideal stage, which is the resolution. So boy meets girl, parents don't like it, then they figure out they actually love each other, and then there is a resolution and there's a happy ending. So that's the story you want to tell. So what we are going to do is we are going to suggest a presentation flow. In general, this is very useful flow, but one size does not fit all. You may want to focus on certain elements depending on your startup and the story that you have to tell and that you have to customize, and that we can help you with. I think first is, you talk about your company purpose. Why do you exist? Why is your problem, the problem that you're solving, becoming more relevant? What is the solution that you're offering to the problem? And what is the value? You're solving the problem for somebody. And so for the customer versus all the other alternatives, what is your value proposition? Why now? We talked about market size. What is the market size of the problem that you're trying to solve? How big is the problem worth solving? And who are the players who are solving that problem today? Competition, and how are they doing it? And then we come to the business model, saying, okay, there's a large market size, there's a genuine problem, we are solving it, we are doing it better than competition, but how will you make money? That is the question that you need to answer. How will you get customers? And then you're talking about, okay, we've told you the entire story. There's a problem, there's a solution. We have a way in which we make money. We have a customer acquisition strategy in place. Then you come to traction, because that's the proof of the pudding, right? Where people are saying, okay, great. Where have you reached? How many customers do you have? Are they paying you for it? And customer traction, in 90% of the decks, I think people don't pay enough attention to it. And of course, investors understand financials. So you have to show your knowledge of your business through how does it dovetail into money, into your operating metrics that you're tracking. How does it translate into revenues? What are the costs? And what is the money that you're spending? What is the burn? And things like that. And finally, the team. Now, a lot of people put the team up front. That's also fine. But clearly, this is one of the most important elements in your pitch presentation. And finally, what do you need from the investor, which is very investor-led, that is limited interaction with your business model, but it tells the investor what you're looking for. Are you clear on it? How are you going to use the money, and what are you going to deliver based on that?